we've gotten a couple asks on what we use to tow and stuff. So just real quick, we are in a GMC Sierra 2500. I'll touch base on just a bit like why we chose the 2500 over the 1500, but there is a reason. The gist of it is we checked all the weights. We knew we were going with a 26-foot long trailer. Again, it's not super heavy and it's not even that, but it's this. This has a tonneau cover on the back, and we have this entire back of the truck packed full of extra things, extra parts, camping stuff, side camping things, a bunch of like suitcases for when we're traveling for work and stuff like that. But that was the main reason we went with the bigger truck, because we needed the payload in the back of the truck bed to also haul stuff as well as carry and support the weight of the trailer. The other way that we're doing this, let me move to the other side. The other way that we're doing this is we do have a weight distribution hitch. We are using the Equalizer 4-point. That's just the one that we got for free when we bought our trailer. So that's the one we're using. I think with this truck we don't necessarily need weight distribution, but we did it just to kind of like add a bit of safety. And the other thing to note about the Intech as well is, you're not going to be able to see this, I'm trying to get that down, but they are on torsion axles, and what that means is there's no leaf spring, so it's got a bit better support, a little bit smoother ride. There's pros and cons to both. The biggest pro is like it's separate and there's no leaf spring, so there's not as much bounce. There is still bounce obviously, but there's not as much bounce, and it kind of helps for being a bit more stable, or has known to be a bit more stable in the tow, so it kind of reduces that risk of any type of trailer sway. The other reason also why we went with the 2500 over the 1500 is the towing package that's with that one, and it comes with the 1500 as well, but just bigger brakes, sturdier truck. It's going to help stop in any situation like that. And again, when we get on the road, I'll touch base on kind of like how we do miles per gallon wise, and a couple of tricks that we use on how we utilize like our trailer brakes as well to assist us when we're dealing with grades and stuff like that. But that's pretty much it. So yeah, we're jumping to the next spot, and yeah, I'll catch you in just a sec. Let's get going. When you're doing the tension bar weight distribution, make sure that all of your chains, everything, your trailer plug, run up underneath these torsion bars or these tension bars, because they're going to latch in to the trailer in every turn and stuff, so you don't want anything caught in the middle here. You want everything to go underneath. The other thing that we did, just real quick hack, is just like swap that cable out for this, just like bungee cord, because that other one is like kind of notorious for getting caught up in your chains, ripping, and what that goes to is your trailer brake. So if that pulls out and gets caught up in this chain or grabbed on something in the road, it's going to trigger your trailer brake, and if you don't know that, you got a high chance of burning those trailer brakes out if you don't know what's going on. So yeah, so we just swapped out for that little just bungee cord there. And these are a little sketch too, because the way you got to get them up. Oh God, I don't know what happened there. I must have hit the button for the tailgate. Sheesh. But you have to use this little tool here to lift those up onto those bars there. Hold that for just a sec, Steph. Must have hit the button because that dropped on me. I called it though. I called it.
Nice.
Alrighty. So there you go. Let's see if I can get it under there. Goes a little further up. But essentially, as soon as I lock it in there, you gotta grab it like that and then pull it in like that, and then it's gonna snap this off, but it is like super tight right now, and I need the pin, the L pin. So essentially what this does is it just like, I'm gonna hold it here for now. There's a little L pin bracket that goes down right there where this piece is in at, but it snaps in these things here. And then I'll pass that back to Steph real quick, and then that one off. Try to slide that down in. We're a little crooked, and it's a little tight. this because it is built to be tension, and it's going to be really dangerous for like fingers and toes and stuff. I probably shouldn't be doing it in sandals. Drop right in, latch in, and I did pick up extra. I got this stuff, thank you. I did pick up extra of these because like I don't trust that little just like snap right there. So I did buy some extra ones that we keep with us, so that way if we lose one while we're going down the road, we're good to go, and I can replace it right then and there instead of having to try to drive without it. The other thing that they have is these are really noisy because it's just metal on metal, and there's little dampeners that I did buy, but I have not put them on and haven't tried them yet, so I need to get them on and try it on our next trip and see if it makes a difference on the noise. But let's hit the road, we're hot. The other thing I'm going to do right now is we got to get the levelers off the one side and our chalk blocks off the one side. So Steph sits out there. I kind of just watch her in this mirror here. You can see her there. She gives me the thumbs up or the thumbs down. She can get them. There we go. Got the thumbs up for getting those ones out. And then now she has to go over to the other side, and I can see her through this mirror on top because we have a couple of chalk blocks on that side as well. So just a bit of the like setup and breakdown that we got to do each time. Steph's a champ out there in the heat doing it. I get to sit in the AC with the pups watching. All right, and because we use those Anderson leveling blocks, we drive or back onto them, and then I had to back up to get the chocks out of the front and then pull forward to get off of the actual leveling piece itself. All right, I think that was it. I'm gonna help Steph finish up and we'll hit the road, and I'll chat about like how we tow and what our average like miles per gallon and stuff is. So there are gonna be two modes in the GMC. There's gonna be normal driving mode when you're not towing something. When you plug in a trailer, it will register here. This is the trailer brake, and this is how you change the gain on that trailer brake. But on this side here is how you enable the tow haul mode. And what that does is just kind of like put the truck into a state of knowing that you're towing something of weight. And the other thing that, and again, the 1500 should do this as well, but the other thing with that is it gives me, sorry, I'm trying to pull out of the slot here. But what the other thing it will do is it gives, okay, we're good. Yeah, the other thing that it does is oh, dang, that's bright right there. Other thing is it does is it gives us truck braking instead of like engine braking, instead of just like actually using the brakes. So when we get into grades as well, there's two different things that we do. One is to initiate the engine braking, and I trigger that. There's two different ways to do it. When you're in tow haul mode, the option here to turn it on doesn't work. So like I just hit the brake until it registers that that's the range of speed that I want to get it, and then it will, basically what it does is it changes gears automatically for us. So it'll go high rev, it'll high RPM it, but that way it allows the engine to slow the truck down instead of you having to rely on your brakes only to slow the truck down. So when you get into those like really steep grades, you can kind of preserve both your brake pad life and just heat overall, because that's a, you know, that's a big scary thing, is to kind of like burn your brakes out going down the side of a mountain. So, and then the other thing that I do as well on this part, or on the 2500, and again the 1500s have this too if they have the tow package, but it's this trailer brake here. So if I get passed by like a giant truck or anything like that, or I'm on like a bridge and there's wind gust flying through and it's like bouncing me and the trailer all over the place, and I'm noticing there's like a bit of sway or something picking up, I can engage the trailer brake here by pushing this in and holding it in, and then you'll see on the screen it tells me what gain I'm at. So I've played around with the gain on mine. I've gone back and forth from 3.5 to 5.5, and for me the sweet spot at this point is 4. It may go up a bit to give me a little bit more assistance the higher we get into the mountains and the steeper the grades get. But right now 4 has been a pretty good spot, and I utilize it not too frequently, but it's come in handy a couple of times when we've hit a couple of bridges, or we're catching heavy draft off of an 18-wheeler or something like that. Then I just kind of, as soon as I notice it, I just trigger that brake in, and it kind of helps limit or reduce even the chance of it getting into a sway. So I rely on that heavily as well. And if I get into like areas like that and I start feeling it move back and forth with me, then I'll just kind of ride and keep my hand on it and make sure that I'm engaging that on a regular basis in those instances. But yeah. And then the other thing we do, let me see, I don't know what it's at right now. So like, yeah, it's still about the same. So we average right now about 9 miles per gallon. Our best is 18.9, so we're in a 6.6 V8 gas. We did not do diesel, but there's a reason. Just personal preference really over everything else. Like, diesels are great. I mean, they're probably the preferred way to tow, because you know, you get better torque. Really the gas mileage is probably going to equal out at the end of the day. We get to spots like this and we don't just sit at camp. If we were just coming to a campground and we're just sitting at camp all day, diesel probably would have made sense. But we drive around a lot when we get to the spots to explore and do other things in the area, not just at the campground. So that's why the gas made a little more sense to us. And then the second part is, like, you can find gas everywhere, and diesel's a little more specific when you get out and about. Really in the Northeast would have been no problem. And then the other thing is DEF. Not a big deal, but a lot of the issues that you have with diesel nowadays come from DEF most of the time. So we didn't really want to bother with that. You just got to carry extra jugs and stuff around, and you got to find stations that will carry the diesel and the DEF. So we just didn't really want to deal with that extra. It's more a convenience thing with us with the gasser. And I know other trucks do this as well, but the other cool thing about the GMC is, like, when you plug into a trailer, it kind of gives you a checklist of things to go through to make sure that everything is kind of good and in working order before you take off. So we don't really utilize it, but it is nice to kind of have it be a reminder pop up right there when we see it. And the completionist in me sees the 10 unchecked items and I'm like, oh God, what did we not do? But I remember that we don't utilize that one. And the other thing we do too when we're traveling is, Steph's doing it right now, so we're booking a spot about halfway between here and our next spot. And we use, what's the app that you use? It's basically a trucker app.
Yeah, I don't know what it's called at the moment. I'm in it.
In it, okay. Yeah, I don't remember what the name of it is. I'll get it and I'll put it in there.
That little guy.
Oh, it looks like a TM interstate sign.
So probably Trucker Maps.
Trucker Maps is our guess. I'll put it down at the bottom. But we use that as well over Google Maps. Google Maps has been crazy here lately. It's been routing us like residential streets and stuff like that, towing a trailer, and like, I know you have to put the restrictions and stuff, but we try to map it and select the same exact route based on what Trucker Maps gives us into our Google Maps, because Google Maps we can push into our screen here on the truck. But that's been a big help as well, just to make sure that we're navigating roads that we're able to kind of like clear with like our height of our trailer and stuff like that. So we're cruising through the farmlands out here.
Pretty.
I will say it is very pretty. When we're towing too, we typically stay, if we're on highways and stuff, we'll stay between like 60 and 65 miles per hour. I try not to go over 65. I can, and honestly it feels sometimes like it drives a little bit smoother if I'm going 70, but you know, just because like I'm a bit new to towing something quite this big, I don't want to like go too fast. And then the other part too is like, it's not really just I trust my driving, it's the other people you got to look out for, and when the faster I'm going, the longer it's going to take me to stop something like that. So just for reference, I typically stay between 60 65. I do not use cruise control. I try not, or at least like, I honestly don't think you should. So I don't. I try to pedal drive it the whole time. My legs be aching sometimes though, I'm not even gonna lie. It'd be hurting, especially after doing all these hikes and stuff, and my knees would be shaking trying to hold the gas pedal down some. But yeah, we're out in these farmlands right now, but really pretty out here in Amish country. But The other thing I'll say really quick too is I mentioned the trailer brake and utilizing the trailer brake. Don't over abuse it though, because you really want to maintain your trailer brake for emergency stopping only. So, you know, if you're coming into a stop and you feel like you're coming in a little bit hot, I've leaned on it a little bit when I first started towing and getting used to how long it would take me to come to stop and things like that. I would use it when I was coming to a normal stop, or if I'm coming down a hill and the truck said I don't want to like super push down into the brake on the truck too much, I'll lean on it a little bit to assist. But for the most part, I try to not use my trailer brake unless I feel the trailer behind me swaying and I need to kind of like correct that, or you know, if we're coming up into like an emergency stop, if someone cut us off when we were coming through Baltimore and I had to slam on brakes, then I did initiate the trailer brake at that point. But I try not to, because if I'm ever in an emergency where that plug is getting pulled out and I need that brake to engage, then I want to make sure that I have quality life on those pads that are on the trailer to make sure we get it stopped in a timely manner. So that's why I don't lean on it too heavy, but it is there for your use in situations if you need it. Engaging the engine brake, flying under this tunnel. Just hit 12% grade. That's definitely the steepest that we've done so far, and a little sketch. I'm not gonna lie, right, Steph? A little sketchy, but I mean, again, truck's doing good. Those ones scare me a bit just because, like, again, like the highest we've done it to this point up until now, doing the 12% was an 8%. Those ones really I didn't even notice. And if the jump to 12 is like that, then I'm a little nervous for when we get even deeper in. It's going to get even worse. But I mean, truck did good. It's towing fine. Like, I don't like. It really is just being concerned with the brakes and hoping we don't get them too hot and you know, don't burn out the truck. Really, it's not even the trailer brakes at that point. I will utilize the trailer brakes probably a little more coming down if I can. But right, yeah, so far so good on like the towing. It's been feeling fine. It's just, again, with the gas motor over the diesel, I don't really have the torque or the pull, so I'm just going a little slower. And so if you pass an Intech going 35 miles an hour, it's probably us.